Hey everyone, welcome to the Holan Cassy podcast. We're so excited to be here with you today, and we have a great topic for you. So stay tuned.
We're going to talk about vitamins. But before that, let's talk about our health journey in general.
Okay.
And I'm going to be real. It kind of goes back to our very first podcast of the year where we talked about how everything changed and everything became routine, Zoom fatigue and everything. And there came a point where we had such a health kick in 2020 and 2021 and you just feel like Groundhog Day. And I was just like, what are we doing? And, it's kind of like, when they call in relationships, the honeymoon phase for the first 2 years, you're just like, oh, everything. Yeah. And then year 5, it's like, happy Valentine's Day. Not saying that's us. But, with the health and wellness, when we first was into oils, is like when we found out, wow. Yeah. And the effect whoa. And we're like, this is so great. And I'm going to carry it in my bag. I'm going to carry it in my purse. I'm going to carry it in my keychain. I have it on my keychain for all these years and haven't used it for years. Sometimes I'm like, why do I have this? I pull it out. I'm like, there's no oil in here. Yeah. But same thing goes for vitamins, being consistent with vitamins. I would have seasons where yeah. And then sometimes I stop. Yeah. But I will say that taking greens or taking it in a drink, right? It's a lot easier. Helps me be consistent.
Yeah, the delivery, the delivery method is important. I think, depending on certain people like me, definitely, who doesn't like to swallow pills, who has a hard time.
I will say this, and this is something to work on when I travel. It's not a cop out, but it throws off my daily routine. Excuse me. At home, I just go downstairs, go to the kitchen. We have our drink bar where it's just whatever drink you want. Smoothie, tea, greens, coffee. So I get my greens, I put it in, use the frother, put some ice. Done. That's all I have. That's what I have over here. I do that. It's easy to be consistent. When I go on a trip, sometimes it's I just have to figure out a routine, I don't have my dedicated drink bar space. That's not an excuse, but I've tried it in the little plastic bottles. But that is to say, the more consistent I do feel a difference, right? I had a health incident while we were traveling. And although that was scary and a lot of things, coming back home really pushed me into that direction of getting back into my routine. And I do believe that helps with recovery. It also helped me refocus on health and wellness, and sometimes I'm like, people are like, oh, you're getting old, Holan. What am I? I'm 38 and almost 40. But, and I don't like when we joke about it. I don't joke about it. There's power in our words. But when I look at it, I consider wow, I'm really blessed. Part of me is hey, you're in health and wellness. You should not have that experience. You should have been oiled up. You should have been using vitamins, you should have been eating right and doing well. Right. But when I really look at it, I can be like that. Right. But then when I do look at even my family, I mean, they're a huge part of why I'm into health and wellness, right? I'm farther along in my health than they were when they were my age. Granted, even my mother passed away at age 35. But when I look at my father, when I look at my aunts and uncles, and it could be cultural, people talk about high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes. I don't have those. based on my last checkup.
Yeah.
I mean, the doctor says, hey, maybe you'd lose weight, but I feel like I'm okay. You know, I don't have the indicators, you know, the metabolic indicators, and I should, you know, if I just say, hey, it runs in the family, it's genetic, I should, right? I was also reflecting the other day because somebody posted something about cancer. You know, my grandparents had 9 kids, right? My mother was the youngest of 9. But the youngest, basically the 2 daughters and the 3 sons have had cancer. And they all passed away from cancer, you know, 54, 60s, you know, my mother 35. And even some family members, like distant family members, like my mom's cousins would come up and it's like, why is it that your guys' family? And we can go into that in another podcast about farming and agriculture and the chemicals that are used, which is probably the prevailing theory of when they were in the Philippines. Or we can just say like, hey, you know, even there's genetics and there's other factors, what can we do that's within our control? And that's what really is important. I look at health differently because, you know, I cherish it. Every time is precious. My mother was in and out of hospital. She had pain. She suffered through that. My brother also has health challenges from the time he was born. And so seeing all those complications, a lot of people take it for granted. I didn't realize this until somebody, you know, recently went through a health scare with one of their family members. And I'm like, this person's like 50 years old. They've never experienced it. God has really blessed them. 2 living parents, never experienced these type of things. First time they're scared. Like throughout my whole life, childhood, even before adulthood, we're thinking about what if somebody's going to die? What if, you know, for other people, it's really taken for granted. And so when we were into health and wellness, like vitamins and other things, I kind of felt off eating that vegan hot dog and vegan sandwiches. I don't do that anymore. That was only when my mother wanted to do that. But let's talk about vitamins. What's your experience with vitamins? Did you take vitamins growing up?
I did. We had prescribed vitamins, I think. I don't know if they were like
from the doctor.
Yeah. And
chewables or
chewables.
Did they taste good?
So I think that I'm a like texture person. Like I don't like certain textures.
Chalky?
Yeah. So it was like very like gritty, chalky. Like I don't like that.
It's not Flintstones?
No. And then we also had Flintstones vitamins as well. So there were, and it's the same like texture consistency. And
maybe they came from the same factory.
Anything in a chewable, I think, is the same.
So did you take it? Were you consistent?
Yeah. You know, as a kid, you're kind of like forced to take it. And so, yeah, so that's what I grew up with. And then I don't know, came to a point where that just stopped. And I'm trying to think, I don't remember doing other kinds of vitamins. Yeah. No, we did have a liquid something. Oh. Like a fruit, vegetable.
Did you take omegas or any other things or any other supplements?
No.
Do you eat a lot of vegetables?
Not really. I mean, like when we have them, I guess. Like I like carrots and we had an orange tree outside, so we got vitamin C from the oranges all the time. Yeah. And tangerines, and we have like papaya, and so I think we got
vitamins.
Yeah. So I think we maybe got most of it from like our like fruits.
I mean, I think about my grandparents, you know, going to the Philippines. They eat a lot of vegetables in the north, right? The Philippines, in the locals. And yeah, they got a lot of nutrients. That marunggay, superfood. But, you know, for me, I remember taking Flintstones vitamins. I know exactly how it tastes like. But when I think back, I was like, how often did I take it? I don't think I even take it for a long time, right? Especially since I was, because of my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
But when my brother was born, he was born with hydrocephalus. And my mother, at the same time, was going through some health challenges. They were really on this health and wellness kick. And they were like, oh, we need micronutrients, trace nutrients, and all of these types of things. You need proanthocyanins and all these kind of things. So there was one supplement that's not a vitamin, the proanthocyanins. It's hard to pronounce. OPC, I think, is a abbreviation. And then there's these minerals and vitamins, right? Trace minerals and vitamins. And we would take that every day. You'd have to swallow, and this was back where those pills one was a what do you call those hard pills? Like they're compacted.
Oh, yeah.
So you can taste that a little bit. And one was in a capsule, but then the powder, you could taste it. So I, from a time in my childhood, I could swallow pills. Very easy. Water, milk, orange juice. My brother is 5 years younger. In order for him to take it, he would take orange juice. And orange juice has a lot of sugar. But that is to say, my brother was on vitamins longer than myself. And sometimes I think, like, is that the reason why he's tall? He's way taller than my mother, my father, my grandparents. I do have some tall uncles, but I think my brother is like 5'10" at least. And I'm 5'5". And so, was it the vitamins? But that is to say, like, you have health. You might have some health challenges. You do everything you do, and it just has all these benefits. I think about, like, some of our friends that was, they like one of our friends, she had cancer. And we were in a crowded environment, and really you're immunocompromised, right? When you're going through chemotherapy and all of that. But she used a ton of like healthy things, right? I have another friend, she has lupus, also autoimmune, a lot of different things, immunocompromised. These are the ones, stay at home. And this was during like 2022, maybe 2021, 2022. We were out in crowds. Those two did not catch the C. And I was like, is it because they were like on such high doses? I don't know. But when we talk about vitamins, what's interesting about doTERRA is the reason why I joined doTERRA wasn't because of the essential oils. It was actually because of the vitamins. How are we doing on time?
Good.
Yeah. So back in 2010, one of our friends, I wouldn't say one of our friends, one of my father's friends, he is a formulator. He makes a lot of vitamins for different companies. What's a good company that I can mention that he was worked for? He was the VP of products for was it Garden of Life or something? Yeah, and that's one of the more well-known ones. He's in Utah, the mecca of a lot of health and wellness products, and he has his own line of products, and now he has his own company that does products. But back then in 2010, doTERRA asked him to update their vitamin line. So they had what is called the Lifelong Wellness, and they said, hey, we want to update our vitamin line. And this is what I love about doTERRA, because they're a lot of companies, they're just like, well, our vitamins are selling. People like that. We're going to keep the same vitamins that we did 50 years ago. There's new technologies. There's different ways you can make it better, right? Why am I going to take the vitamins that my grandparents took when now we can have so many things that are so much better? So he formulated that, calls up my father and say, hey, you really should check out this company, doTERRA. And what he says is, for most companies that they formulate, he has to come up with different tiers, because companies don't want to spend a lot of money because of profitability. And what a lot of people would do is the good companies would get probably the second tier, right? They don't choose the highest tier. He said none of the companies choose the highest tier. And then a lot of companies, they choose the lowest tier, or they even tell you like, hey, this tier, like this vitamin, can you take things out of it to make it cheaper? But what surprised him about doTERRA is they really had integrity. He didn't have different tiers. They said, make this vitamin as if it was your own. We know you have your own line, but let's make this vitamin like they wanted to have vitamins that the owners, the founders of the company could take. Keep in mind, some of all of these owners have worked for health and wellness companies. So they wanted a vitamin that was better than the companies that they worked with. Rob Young was part of, worked for New Skin, which is, they have a whole Pharmanex line. He wanted to make it better. And so he works with our friend. They release it. This is a story that you'll never hear because we know. He says they come up and he does the proposal and, they're all excited about it. There's Corey, finance, and other people. They're like, well, how much is it going to cost? And so that was a little thing. And Dave, according to him, Dave Sterling said, we asked so-and-so to be here. We asked him to make the vitamins as if it was your own. We want it to be the best on the market. If we know this is the best, either we take it or we not have vitamins at all. Because if you're gonna make it less then it's not gonna be the best anymore. Right. And was it Dave or Emily that said that? No, Emily said that. And then Dave said, I was thinking the same thing. One or the other. It's been so long, 16 years. So anyways, Rob and everybody says, hey, we'll figure a way to make it work. And the price point is on point. I did the pricing analysis. If you were to get all the different ingredients, there's no way. Normally, direct selling companies, the vitamins are like 10x, 14x markup because we have to pay the distributors. We, in doTERRA's model, we do have large margins on our oils and other things. But for that supplement, they did it in such a way where it's like the margins are lower. Yeah. And the whole point is they wanted everybody, as many people to be on it because they knew that it was going to be good for health. So that's the story of how we got involved with doTERRA. Our friend calls up my father. My father says, hey, let's go to doTERRA. Tell me. And I was like, I don't want to go. Should we go into that story or leave it for next time?
No, you can go into the nutshell of it.
Basically, I didn't want to go into it. My father was into, the reason why he's connected to our friend is because my father was into different direct sales, health and wellness. And I just majorly was heavily invested, which at the time I felt like I was heavily invested. Now I look at it, I was like, oh, that's small. At the time it felt big. And I was like, you're going to jump from one thing to another again? I don't know if anybody can figure it. But I'm so glad he did. My father said, hey, I'm going to go fly out on one condition. My family comes with me, my brother and myself. We fly out to Utah. We meet with the owners, Rob Young, right? Because Rob Young worked with our friend to help update this vitamin line. We met with Dave Sterling, who was at the time, I think he'll be again, he was the CEO, president of the company. Greg Cook. We met with Greg Cook. And Justin Harrison. Oh, I thought there was more. Nope, those are the ones that we met over there. But we really got to see the company. My father, it's not like a typical direct sale where it's like, oh, okay, let's go meet at home. It's like my father makes a decision. He's like, no, I'm going to go see the people. And if this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it seriously. And at the time, my father was looking for a new home for direct sales. He didn't have any income coming in. So I was like a financier or the breadwinner. And so I was 2010. How old was I? 23 at the time, right? And 22, 23. And that's why he needed me to be there. Because I was the one that was like, not only I was going to buy the products, I would have to also invest in, having a space to teach and all of that. And again, I was the one that said no. I told him, no, I absolutely don't want this. So I actually bought into the vision because they talked about essential oils. I learned about that. We'll talk about that another time. But anyways, long story short, I ended up buying 2 diamond kits at $2,000 each. So $4,000. Come back home, and the rest is history. My father was the first to kind of market it and promote it. I focused on my own business, which is a cell phone retail store at the time. I was making money with that. But when I saw that, hey, my father's been in a lot of opportunities, but I started seeing him be successful at it. I said, hey, I can be successful at it. And back then I was so I kind of used the oils. It took a while for me to get into the oils. But I was using the Lifelong Vitality Pack, which was doTERRA's vitamins. And I noticed that my mood was completely, was better. And when I say my mood was better, I have health challenges, whole different diagnosis. We don't have to get into that. But I was thinking to myself, when was the last time that I didn't know the word. I know the word now. Let's just use the word emotionally dysregulated. And I don't remember when. And normally people would say, what oil did you use? But I wasn't consistent with oils. The only thing that I have changed was taking those vitamins every day. Fast forward to today, they've actually updated it. I think they still have the Lifelong Vitality, but I shifted to greens. And this has been a blessing for both of us because you don't like taking pills.
I don't. I struggle. I really do struggle. And, when I first got into doTERRA, for me, it was about the oils and not the supplements. And because my whole thing and mental block of taking pills and so, like you talk about taste and textures, and I'm just like, oh, I can't, it's a really big mental block for me. But yeah, so having everything in a drink form, which is not just greens, but it's your vitamins, minerals, and greens. So it's a whole combo of 3, it's a 3-in-1, supplement that's in a drink that you can take on the go. You can take it anywhere as long as you have water, juice or whatever, put it in a smoothie. It's so versatile and easy to take, and the texture is great. I love the taste. And it's been a really cool thing to have.
Absolutely. You didn't take vitamins before, which was so hard because one of the biggest. Okay, here's a fun fact. When we first started doTERRA, doTERRA is an essential oil company, but the Lifelong Vitality Pack is the #1 selling product. And they count it that way because, not everybody buys peppermint. Some people buy peppermint, some people buy lavender, but that's a huge thing. That's just a testament to the product. It also has a money back guarantee, and a lot of people didn't do the money back, and we've had people on it for over 10 plus years. But going back is like, Cassy can't talk about it. And it's just like, you have to be a product of your product.
I know.
And there was some people on the team also couldn't take vitamins, but some people are like, I put it in my smoothie. I take breakfast pills.
I open the capsules and I'm like, oh, that's nasty.
And so, and with the Lifelong Vitality Pack, it was a total of, they've changed 12 pills. Yeah. 12 pills. And so for a lot of people, that's a lot. And a lot of people are like, can't it be less? And it's just like, there's no way you can fit all of that nutrition and all of these good ingredients. A lot. That's why that's why the price point is so crazy, because a lot of companies would charge the same amount for a lot less, and they have less pills, or they take the big horse pill. But when it came to greens, doTERRA has had greens in the past that wasn't vitamins and greens. That honestly, the taste of that wasn't And believe me, if it doesn't taste good, I'm gonna go find another company.
Mm-hmm.
I am a doTERRA loyalist when it comes to essential oils, but some of the other products is like, is doTERRA the best on the market, or is there something else, or is it about the same? And I do that with all our products. Right now with this, with the greens, right now the closest competitor will probably be AG1, and the price point is pretty similar. And I don't want to sound salesy, but we get 30% back. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've been on a kick of looking at credit card rewards and all these rewards, and I'm getting excited about like, 5% back, or this is a free trip that equates to 10% back. We're talking about 30% back, mm-hmm. and that's such a great program. They have had that from the beginning. Part of my excitement, especially in today's economy, mm-hmm. is that doTERRA started in 2008. That's the midst of the recession, and they grew. Yeah. And the reason why they grew is they knew that people had needs, right? Health and wellness, and people also, and there's also the business aspect. Mm-hmm. But not all companies back then, health and wellness companies, grew. How did doTERRA grow? One of the things they had is they knew, and they have the kind of like the cashback program, mm-hmm. right? So 30%
rewards program.
30% rewards program, huge. But going back to greens, we take our greens. Mm-hmm. Take our omegas, and I never used to take probiotics all the time. It would be like, okay, it's the springtime, let's take 30 days probiotics. Yeah. But now having these probiotics all top of the line, mm-hmm. not going to go into deep dive. There's a lot of things online about that. But one of the things that I know about these products that to highlight is they've actually done studies. And this is where people are like, should I take vitamins? Are they junk? Are they good? Yeah. You can't tell on the label. So what you see on the label, is that what your body's actually getting? The test is, and you can do this, it just costs a lot of money. Mm-hmm. If you're willing to do this, get your blood tested. Mm-hmm. Insurance is probably not going to cover it, but you can test, if your levels are going up, your omega levels, your cholesterol is going down, your vitamin B12 levels, vitamin D levels, right? Which was mm-hmm. all the rave, right? And during 2020, that's how you know it's going to work. And are you going to blindly trust it? We used to take our blood levels. I haven't done it recently. One day I would out of curiosity, mm-hmm. but doTERRA has done studies. Some of our friends have been part of that studies. So we know for sure that we're getting the result that we have. Yeah. Are people confident that their vitamins are doing that? And just one word, bioavailability. Mm-hmm. And that's always been a focus of doTERRA from the beginning, is how do we increase the bioavailability? Because the running joke about vitamins is, when you take vitamins and then you're peeing out, neon yellow, you're peeing out your vitamins, you're wasting your money. A lot of mega dosing and everything, and you see that in the health foods, like, this vitamin is better because the numbers. Yeah. It's not about what's in the vitamin, it's what your body is able to utilize. Right. And so a lot of studies on that, a lot of things that enhances that. We weren't meant to take vitamins from a pill. We were meant to take vitamins from the plant, mm-hmm. vegetables, fruits. The problem is our vegetables and fruits are not like what it was before. Right. And not all of us take a lot of vegetables and fruits to begin with. Mm-hmm. So having something like this supplement really helps with that. And just in this delivery form, absolutely love it. We'd love to hear what you guys take for vitamins, because, I believe you're better with it than without it. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go to deep dive, but, they've done studies on what the optimal vitamin levels are and what the general public is. The average is very lacking. Yeah. And even if you eat healthy, it's good to have that margin or insurance mm-hmm. that just kind of tops you off. For us, that means, if we're eating healthy, then it's great. If we're not eating healthy, there's that margin that we have. I would highly, highly recommend vitamins, omegas, probiotics. Mm-hmm. And we could discuss different brands and different differences, but that's basically what I have to say. Anything?
Nope. You covered it all.
Sounds good.
We'll see you next time.
See you.
Bye.